unstable SMP has many characters, some popular and frequently feature in videos, but others have been missing for months. In this video I discuss about theories on what actually happened to these players. Now let's not waste any time and get straight into it. We're starting off with not just a single player but the whole team of Bat, the bounty assassin team. Bat was assembled after the destruction of the Mafia in season 1. So let's look at all of the members. First of all, Newfleet was killed by the director, also known as Wifies' arrow cannon. Parrot is currently doing side quests in Capital City with Theobald the Bird, so that leaves jumperwho, Leowook and Tarapchu. So you might be wondering what happened to all of them. Well, that also links back to Wifies. Well, Wifies threatens to leak all of jumperwho's spies unless the Bat members work as guards in Paragon, the perfect Minecraft prison used to hold Parrot captive. Now Wifies low-key blew up, so it's safe to assume that Leo, Darap and Jumper just left the prison since there was no longer anything forcing them to stay there. Well, technically Jumper was fired by Wifies, but it's unknown whether it was just Jumper who got fired by Wifies or if it was all of the guards. You could assume that all of the other members got fired since you couldn't see them when Parrot left the prison and there wouldn't be any need for guards after Wifies took Parrot to the death trap to be there, but the only confirmed guard to be fired is Jumper. So that leads us on to our next question. Did Leo, Daraptu and Jumper continue back? Well, in one of Parrot's newest videos, the existence of Leo, Darap and Jumper are all confirmed in a letter that Parrot gets. Written by Leowook, the letter states that Bat started fresh, which if I had to guess is likely referring to the reconstruction of a new base and potentially some new members. Anyway, so Bat are starting fresh and still have positive connections with Parrot. Anyways, next up we've got Unstable's most controversial player, this being Ashwag. Before we discuss our next player on the Unstable SMP, hi, I'm Infertrex. I post mini Minecraft documentaries just like the one you're watching now. So if that seems like something you'd be interested in, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss an upload. I'm still a small creator, so even one sub would make a difference. Anyway, thank you for your time and back to the video. Now his last appearance was in Spoke's I spent 100 days hidden in a secret Minecraft based video. In this video, Spoke stalks Ashwag after the destruction of the Mafia. The Mafia of course being the army Ashwag ran that almost destroyed the entire server. Spoke ends up hiding in Ashwag's base called Point Nemo. Well, it's not just Ashwag's base, it's technically Ashwag and Squidow's base, but we'll get more to that later. Anyways, Point Nemo is filled with secret rooms and treasures, with an entire room just filled with multiple diamond armor sets, and also in the same room there is an armorer villager, which may not seem too crazy, but considering how broke Unstable SMP is on resources, having an armorer is one of the most valuable things on the server. Oh, never mind, Spoke killed it. Anyway, to end off Spoke's video, Ashwag trades Redun's the Dragon Egg for 100 mending books after Spoke sabotaged their original trade. Now, considering how controversial of a member Ashwag is and accounting for his wealth, him getting hunted down is honestly a likely scenario. But I feel like we would have heard of his death considering his impact on the server, meaning he's likely just chilling in Point Nemo and letting the dust settle after the Mafia war. If that's even possible at this point. And plus, having connections to Redunes via this trade, the actual richest player on the server, is definitely useful, making his death even less likely with this added support. Now this leads me on to the next member we're going to discuss in this video, Squiddo. After Ashwag kicked her out of Point Nemo, we haven't seen Squiddo. My guess is that after Ashwag traded the Dragon Egg to Redunes to suspend Point Nemo acting as collateral for the villager trade. Why was that such a complicated sentence, bro? This is a Minecraft server. And after Ash found out all of the weird things going on wasn't Squiddo, but was instead just Spoke, Squiddo would probably be invited back to Point Nemo, as Ash and Squiddo are actually dating in real life and in Unstable lore they're married. Anyways, this causes Squiddo to be Ashwag's most loyal partner, meaning wherever Ashwag is, Squiddo will be, so like I said, they're probably both just chilling in Point Nemo. God knows there's enough to keep them busy in that base. Our next forgotten member is Manepear, Unstable's most iconic forgotten member. Make sure to strap in because this is a long one. Now Manepear's last appearance was over 10 months ago in the video titled I Mastered Minecraft Combat. In this video, Main trains wemmbu in Minecraft PvP. However, wemmbu leaves Main to go rescue his teammate Eggchan as Manepear refuses to help him. Long story short, wemmbu sacrifices his mace to flamefrags to save Egg. Him and Egg return home and there's simply a sign saying lost cause, and we never see Manepear again. Now this sudden disappearance is odd for numerous reasons. For starters, Main clearly has an interest in scripted content, which we can see from him uploading his own scripted videos outside of the Unstable SMP, and he's notorious for being really good at PvP, better than flamefrags, so why wouldn't he be a good threat to include in the videos? Honestly, there aren't a lot of answers to these questions other than Main likely just doesn't want to be too involved with Unstable SMP, which is fair enough. Now Manepear said he died to a skeleton whilst AFK, but it isn't 100% clear if this is referring to his Lifesteal death or his Unstable unstable SMP death. And even if he was talking about unstable SMP, this death obviously wouldn't be canon. So for a satisfying canonical reason, we have to go back to the lost cause sign. Now this could mean many things. The more obvious connotations of this sign are that wemmbu is a lost cause. Wemmbu sort of betrayed manepear by not giving him the mace and leaving him to fight Flame on his own. Main is a very respected player and unstable, so little things like this can mean a lot to him. So wemmbu could be a lost cause in the sense that he's too far gone, or that he's just gonna die to flamefrags. But an interesting theory, which I haven't seen anyone talk about, is what if manepear was talking about himself? He was the lost cause. Wemmbu at the time wasn't known as a particularly strong player, which I go over more in this video. Anyway, so maybe manepear getting disobeyed by a weaker player and having seen his failed attempts to secure the mace from wemmbu lowered Main's self-esteem, causing him to just run away. We know manepear didn't return to his base after this since it got destroyed. So canonically there are many interesting reasons for Main's disappearance, but realistically Main just probably doesn't want to be that involved with unstable SMP. But he's manepear, so I'm sure we'll see an appearance from him eventually. Next up we have Serpentbound33. Now you may not recognize this username because Serpent isn't even a YouTuber. He was one of the first generation players. In case you don't know, the first generation are all of the players who live beyond the Farlands, and he's one of the free to survive. The last time we saw him, wemmbu used him to grant him all of his explosive powers using the orbital strike cannon, the same ones he used to take down flamefrags, securing his spot as the strongest player on the server. Now we know Serpent's still alive, so he's probably still in the Farlands. That's more or less confirmed when we see him punch wemmbu into the end portal, but I guarantee we'll see this player again, and this is how. Egg translators spawn in the Farlands before sacrificing himself for wemmbu, meaning he currently can't leave the end as he'll end up all the way back there, surrounded by players who literally want him dead. So I assume this plotline is there, as we know Egg has exams as stated towards the start of season 2, so instead of him just not logging on, he now instead has a more canonical reason to not be in videos for a little bit. But they're gonna have to get Egg back in videos eventually. I mean, he's arguably more popular with the fans than the main four themselves. Now this potential plot shares similarities to the plotline in the season 1 episode by Parrot, I Built Minecraft's Safest Civilization, where they have to destroy Dean the Bean's enderpearl status from the Mafia. Now we will get to Dean the Bean later, but let's stick with the first generation players. Wembu's looking pretty low on his explosive power, so maybe he'll make Serpent his bitch again to recoup his powers en route to destroying Egg's bed. Anyway, moving on to our next two players, we have Knittingly and Firestar 2008, the other two surviving first generation players. Well, let's start off with Knittingly. The last time we saw Knittingly, wemmbu had broken a lot of his armor and he was straight up just nosediving into the void. But he had an elytra, was holding enderpearls, and we didn't see his death message, so we can assume that he probably survived this. Now Firestar's situation didn't look as good, as he wasn't wearing an elytra and wasn't holding enderpearls, but once again we didn't see a death message, so it's safe to assume that he survived. However, the Farlands are very weird, so maybe death messages are just inconsistent there, but this is very unlikely. Anyway, so it's safe to assume we'll be seeing Serpentbound, Firestar and Knittingly pretty soon, but the same can't be said for this next player. That player being Dean the Bean. Now he's on this list because he's the only one out of the season 1 crew to have not been involved much in season 2. Now I don't mean involved in the sense that he hasn't been playing on the server, I mean he hasn't even really been mentioned. Obviously Wifies was involved a lot because of the director arc, but I don't even remember Dean being mentioned in season 2. Comment if I'm wrong. So for the people who didn't watch much of season 1, Dean was one of Parrot's best friends, most notable for being an ex-mafia member. Now this eventually acted as a double-edged sword, since Dean was able to give info which led to the destruction of the mafia, but he also caused the mafia to be able to continuously find him, Parrot and Wifies. So he gets kicked out of the group, rejoins the mafia, and gets killed because Parrot pops his totem, causing for his identity to be revealed, which goes against the rules of the mafia, meaning Dean had to be killed. Now Dean is dead, so there's really no speculation on what happened to him. However, Wifies quote unquote died, and we saw him in season 2, so maybe that could be the same with Dean, but I'm probably just coping. Now, for the most infamous forgotten unstable SMP character, we have Giga Gamer 1. I think this was quite a unique concept, so if you want to see a sequel to this video, make sure to comment down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. In this video currently on screen, I talk about how Unstable is being ruined, so if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to give it a watch. See you all later, goodbye. Minecraft series by the name Naked and Afraid released its first episode. This series was a twist on No Armor Hardcore, with there being no ways of communicating with other members other than proximity chat. This series consisted of 9 people, those being Looney, the server's creator, Brock, SW737, Mini Mooka, Mog Swamp, Yeah Jaren, Wumba, Clownpierce, and Wreckcrap. Now this is less than half of the 20 members that the much better season 2 would have, but let's stick to season 1 for now. With season 1, the members would have to survive 8 episodes to win the series. series. Okay, so that's pretty much the rules of Season 1. 9 members, no armor, hardcore. But how was Season 2 such an improvement? Well, with Season 1, the whole server was just a bit too basic. For starters, we've seen 8-episode weekly miniseries loads of time before this, and overall the server was too vanilla. Like, go into your settings, manage some HUD settings, and boom, you've more or less got Naked and Afraid Season 1. Now, don't get me wrong, you could argue this gave Naked and Afraid Season 1 a laid-back charm, but I would counter-argue it and say that it just made the server kind of boring. In the modern state of Minecraft content, so many ideas have been done to the point where if you don't have an interesting idea, your whole series is just going to be a bit boring, no matter who's in it. But with Season 2, the Game Master was introduced, and in the first episode, everyone had to do the Game Master's task or else they would lose a permanent heart.
Instructions to the letter. Oh, what's happened? Wait, have I lost a heart? I don't need 10 hearts.
This idea is cool and unique, and this obviously makes Naked and Afraid feel less vanilla. I mean, if your Minecraft world has the Game Master, please run. This added action and wow factor was something Naked and Afraid Season 1 was unfortunately lacking. Hopefully you're starting to see the contrast. Anyway, if we go back to Season 1, after the first 4 episodes, the end fight happens, which leaves only HermitCraft, wemmbu, Looney, Brock, and SP737. Actually scrap SP since he tried to make his POV interesting by constantly splitting up from the rest of the group and died pretty much instantly after the end fight. So you're really only left with these members. They're all super fun and energetic people. Let me repeat, they're all super fun and energetic people. Rek, Brock, Looney and wemmbu are so similar personality wise, which is great for them, you know, they obviously got along really well and further built their friendships, which is really sweet, but it just made the final 4 episodes of the server kind of boring since you were watching 4 people who were so similar stick together and do basic and normal Minecraft stuff like building houses. Now that probably sounds kind of mean, so let me clarify, there's nothing wrong with these forced personalities, it's just when you have 4 people so similar stay with each other all episode, it just gets a little repetitive. Like, it gets to a point where more or less every player interaction has been seen before, and player interactions is a very important thing for Minecraft SMPs like this, especially since there isn't any PvP, which is the #1 most important part of most Minecraft SMPs nowadays. And since the remaining members' POVs were so similar, it left a ginormous viewer imbalance. Okay, let's go back to Season 2. Like I mentioned earlier, Season 2 has 20 players and there's a much larger variety. We have members such as Redunes and Ashrag that match Mini from Season 1's sort of brash humour, along with players like 4C and Blue who have the traits of Rek, Looney, wemmbu and Brock, but are much more laid back and chilled with it. That's just to name a few. And also, simply having more members is always going to be a good thing with SMPs, more POVs, more content, more relevant, you know, you get the point. With Season 2 introducing so many people, we got to see some lesser known content creators get the spotlight, such as Tanisha. We got to see content creators from all different parts of the Minecraft content creator spectrum, and to illustrate the scale of how big the spectrum is, before he killed himself in the first episode, we had Evbo, most notable for the creation of Parkour Civilization. Seeing him in an unscripted server was really cool and unique. I just wish Clown didn't drive him to the point of suicide. My point is, there's a much larger variety of players in Season 2, making the player dynamic later in the series more interesting. Also, probably the biggest change in Naked and Afraid Season 2, it's Ultra Hardcore. Ultra Hardcore is a fan term for hardcore worlds where natural regen is turned off. This made the server feel less vanilla and more entertaining because of the increased tension, since people in Season 1 could just be careless, which kind of defeated the whole concept of Season 1. Ultra Hardcore also builds on the idea of Season 1. For Minecraft servers as a whole, even if the changes don't improve the server much, just switching up stuff is always good for making new seasons. So I said the last 4 episodes weren't great since all 4 members had the same POV. Well, that's a lie. In reality, the whole series, everyone had really similar POVs. It was just more obvious in the final 4 episodes. The main camp was tiny, like it was really small, so this claustrophobic space led to all players seeing the same things, building the same things, doing the same things, you get the point. But in Season 2, there are 2 camps, red and blue. This means that at the very least, 2 POVs are going to be favoured as opposed to just one, a red POV and a blue POV, but that's not just it. Each camp had people actually splitting up and doing their own thing. Let's take 4C for example. He literally faked his death, which is a super unique idea, and ended up getting the 2nd highest views on the server while being one of the least subscribed to. And also SB, who never met a single player once. Okay, that technically has more negatives than positives, but in this case it works. What I'm trying to say is each POV has so much more substance in Season 2 because of the 2 camps, there being a ton of new members and players being more independent. Now, something Season 2 unfortunately didn't perfect was a balance between the 2 camps. Blue team was a lot more popular and probably overall better at the game. And this is further highlighted by the blue team posters selling out before the red ones, even though the posters are connected. However, red and blue camp did merge at the end of episode 4, creating purple camp. so this wasn't as much of an issue after a while. Either way, the two camps were low-key at war for a bit, so along with the Game Master, we got a lot of action to start off Season 2, which was, you know, let's be honest, already more than the entirety of Season 1. And side note, seeing the members resort to unique ways of causing harm to each other since PvP was banned was really funny, and yes, that does include psychological torment. Now this fact is a lot more subtle, but Season 2's focus on death was much more different to Season 1. In Season 2, if someone dies, a sound effect plays. You know somebody's died, but who? However, in Season 1, the question was more, did somebody die, since no sound effect played? I think this was a big step in the right direction. They changed something that I didn't even think needed changing in Season 1, and made it so it added more tension in videos and kept viewers hooked. In Season 2, mob spawns were increased as the server went on. Not really that big of a change, but there being 6 deaths in Season 1 and 17 in Season 2 highlights the increased difficulty that this adds. I mean, to be fair, there were 20 players in Season 2 and only 9 in Season 1, but you get my point. Additionally, the creators are very open about Naked and Afraid Minecraft being a lot of fun to record, so instead of adding stress by trying to monetize the series, a lot of creators keep the series fun for them by uploading it to their second channel and being edited less. Which, speaking of second channels, I have one where I upload bonus content and other stuff, link in the description. This was mainly after seeing the viewer imbalance of Season 1. For example, clownpierce has only just uploaded his episode 1 POV, which he wouldn't have as much freedom to do had he uploaded it to his main channel, and Squiddo is turning each session into a YouTube short. Now you could argue less edited videos is a bad thing, and I could definitely see your point, but the creators having more creative freedom and less stress so they can focus on enjoying the series gives Season 2 the grounded and low-key vibe Season 1 was going for, but unlike Season 1, it doesn't make the server boring. And what I mean about more creative freedom, for example, Grian is using a new artistic thumbnail style and his videos are in a unique aspect ratio. Like, when do you see square videos nowadays, bro? Okay, so let's get this straight. Season 2 has more action, more members, a larger variety of members, more unique POVs, and a more interesting concept. Yeah, hopefully you can see how much of a comeback Season 2 made compared to Season 1. In wemmbu's newest video, him and flamefrags won a 2 versus 1,000. Most of the players died in one hit, but not this player. That player being venthatguy. He was an elytra mace player who was praised for his insane skill and ability to survive for hours in a 2v1 against Minecraft's best players. Instantly, hundreds of fake accounts were made, but in this video, I talked to the real venthatguy. You should watch the end of this video because I guarantee you'll learn something new, as some never before seen footage and info gets revealed. Plus, I also convinced him to 1v1 me. This is the venthatguy interview. Okay, Mr. Venthatguy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Venthatguy, 15 years old, and I'm the guy from the wemmbu video.
A lot of questions were repeated, so the biggest one I saw was, were you randomly selected to be an elytra mace player, or did you get to choose your kit? Did you request it?
I was randomly selected, yes.
And you just so happened to be like really good at elytra mace?
Yes, I play a server called Fresh SMP, and then it mostly revolves around elytra mace.
So, well, how many elytra maces were there? I can remember like 5, 10?
There were 3.
Oh, 3. Okay, Jot, fair enough, mate. So you were like a rare one. Okay.
3 out of 1,000.
Yeah, no, 3 out of 1,000. What did they tell you, like, when you joined? Did they say, hunt me and flamefrags, or hunt wemmbu and flamefrags down?
They said, at the start, they said focus, all elytra players, focus wemmbu. And then they started leading into more flamefrags when he got given the mace.
Right, okay, so they sort of told you, once flamefrags receives a mace, go for him, but hunt wemmbu.
Yeah.
So this is something I've always wondered. Do flame and like wemmbu in like these big fights have like a resistant effect? Because like it seems they take a little less damage than usual. You get what I mean?
I don't think they had a resistance effect. I think they just had a mod on the server where they're invincible. So when they drop down to like 3 hearts or something, I think they instantly regen. Like regen 2 or something.
No, yeah, fair enough. Because yeah, I can imagine it's quite easy just to quick drop with 1,000 players. I mean, it's 1,000 players, you know. So I've seen when people describe wemmbu as like, yo, this guy's actually like good at elytra mace. He's like high tier 1. I've seen that. If you had to place wemmbu in a tier, because obviously you fought him in the video, and from what I've seen from your recordings, you beat him. Like he literally asked you to stop for a second because you were like cooking him. If you had to place him in a tier, what tier would that be?
I would say maybe low tier 3, high tier 3 maybe.
Okay.
Depends. His stun stand is really good.
Okay, that's good. What tier would you place yourself in?
Most probably low tier 3. I don't really play much normal mace. I just play around with elytra mace a lot.
Oh, okay, so, oh, yeah, that makes sense, because obviously, you know, I know a mace is like a elytra mace, but yeah, mace kit's obviously got other aspects. Yeah, that makes sense. So, how was it having all of the fan accounts made about you? Because you told me when the wembu's video released, you had about, what, on TikTok, 100 accounts, like, just took your name because of your impact?
It was really annoying at the start. I had like 50 people, and I was just up at the middle of the night, like until 1 a.m. just spam replying to comments saying it was me. It was just pretty annoying.
Yeah, no, that must be pretty annoying. I think during the actual event, I think I messaged a fake one as well, because the popular
Yeah.
video, which a lot of people, obviously not the wemmbu one, but the video, it was something titled "Venthatguy's POV," wasn't actually uploaded by you, was it?
No, but it was uploaded by some random guy who messaged me on Discord and then just copied the video off of someone else who I sent the clips to upload for me.
Are you going to upload your POV on your channel, or is it sort of the fact that it's so sort of publicised you won't bother?
Well, there's really no point at the moment. Half of my clips have somehow been corrupted, so I've lost half of the clips of the fight. And I don't know what's happened with the rest of them. I've only got like 3 clips now. The rest have corrupted somehow. So there's no really point posting it when it's all been released on other people's channels and they've already got the POV, so there's no point.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. So if I get, how many people did you share your POV to? Because I have it. Did you share it to one guy and he just sort of went crazy, or?
I think I've sent it to one person. Maybe I've sent it to some of my actual friends, but they haven't posted it. They've just miserably sent it into group chats. I don't think anyone's uploaded it except for this one guy called EXD_QDZ on TikTok, I think. That's his username.
Oh, damn. That is, yeah, I thought my username was, like, confusing, but that's, like, an algebraic, like, sequence for, you know. Unknown player, I think his name is. What about him? Because he uploaded, he's just someone that copied it from XDQ, and I'm not going to tell you, know. Okay. Fair enough. So I'm actually one of the 2 people you've sent the clips to. I feel kind of honoured, bro. When did you create your channel? Was it after this sort of sudden boost from the wemmbu?
Well, I've always had my YouTube channel and my TikTok. I've just never posted on it.
Okay, so your TikTok, do you post on regularly, or is it, you know, your YouTube that you've only?
I haven't posted in my TikTok in maybe like a year.
Oh.
And I'm just starting to upload YouTube videos now since, I don't know, people have just getting with the algorithm.
Yeah, no, you're sort of high demand at the moment, yeah. So what content do you plan? Do you plan on posting SMP videos, sort of Theobald the Bird, like PvP montages? Where are you?
Most probably PvP montages.
Oh, fair enough.
Maybe. Might do an application video or something to join some private SMPs, I don't know yet.
Yeah, no, but you're like, you could use the wemmbu thing, and you're into a lot of servers, bro. So, what do they mean when they say you had to like redo the fights? Did you have to like restart? I
never had to restart. All I had to do was stop fighting wemmbu because, and I think he ran out of totems, and then his inventory was just like cooked, so he had to redo it for the video.
Oh, okay.
So he had to pause. They keep saying that I killed wemmbu and flame, but I just never did.
To be fair, I mean, you were cooking them in a 2v1, so I mean, to assume that, I think that's pretty fair. Is this just sort of like 1,000 players, I guess misconceptions are likely to spread, because you survived near till the end. Did you stay?
I was at the very end.
When people get banned on the unstable SMP, some people say they leave manually, or do you actually get like banned?
You get kicked from the server and just
right. And so what I assume is, let's say for Newflee's death message appears 2 or 3 seconds later, he leaves. I think they probably disable it when they have to sort of get the cinematic deaths. They have to go, you know, frame perfect sort of deaths. But for actual players, I guess that makes sense. So venthatguy, we know, has been banned by, who actually was it? Flame or wemmbu that got the final kill?
It was wemmbu.
You know, me and you have applied to be in the trusted sort of members Discord. Do you reckon you'll be invited to return? As don't you get nicked? Don't you get your username changed and stuff? Do you reckon you'll get the chance to do that? Were you interested in doing that, or what?
I don't think I have any plans for doing that, because I don't think wemmbu or anyone's to just direct message me.
No, yeah, but I mean, if you see a sort of ping saying event happening now, I know Spoke pings that a lot, would you be interested in doing it?
I would most probably just join the event, see if I get another special role.
I'm not sure whether they'd give you the Elytra Mace so you can cook again or not, because you were an absolute beast with it, you know what I mean? Yeah, that leads me on to my next point. Unstable Universe admins, invite me and venthatguy to the Trusted Player Discord, bro. We're good people. I don't really know what to say. Are there any like overall sort of fun facts, sort of like things you'd like to mention about working like with your time on the server? Was it your first time, like stuff like that sort of thing?
It was my second time of joining the events. The first time was a test event and I died 2 times in it, so then my username got changed to __ venthatguy instead of just venthatguy.
Oh. So did the admins make it themselves? Like, do they change your username?
No, I think they've got a bot for it.
Right.
Instantly changes it.
So it doesn't actually change it. I thought it'd be like a Microsoft generated name. So it just sort of alters it a little bit. So instead of it having, you know, like for me in Furtrex, it'd be like in Furtrex XX something like that. They change it slightly. They wouldn't actually change the username entirely.
They'd change it slightly. I don't know what they did, but with me they just added underscores.
Did you get to speak to Wemmbu and Flame, or were you sort of like?
No, I never got to speak to them.
Yeah.
Simple voice chat wasn't activated, so I couldn't do anything.
My next question's not unstable related, but I've been seeing your Spotify top 5 rappers, bro. Don't have to be in order, just top 5.
You know, you gotta go with Drake.
But we'll go 3. I think I'll put you on the spot there. We'll go with 3.
Kendrick's up there somehow.
Yeah, you gotta get Kendrick in there.
Must probably be David. D4VD.
Is he a rapper? Okay, I'll let it slide. Yeah. You essentially beat Wemmbu and flamefrags. Like, I think that's really easy. I think beating Wemmbu and flamefrags is really easy. So I think you should 1v1 me to prove your skill. You know what I mean?
Yes, let's do it.
So yeah, the last recording didn't record properly, but I beat you, like I said.
3-0, by the way, boy.
Well, you're gonna get cooked. I don't know. Oh, damn.
What are you doing? You're having a chest plate on.
Wait, oh, damn, I don't. Yo, whoa. Okay, what am I doing, bro? Okay, you got lucky that time, bro, but like, don't think you'll get lucky every time. Okay, so I've lost my other mace. I've only got one. Okay, that's fine, bro. Okay, do you want anything the service?
You want a mace? What do you want?
Nah, that's alright.
There's your second mace. Take it.
Oh, damn. Oh, whoa! Okay.
You might have lagged back a little bit.
Ooh, okay. No, I'm trusting my other ender pal. Well, Ven, it was a close duel to say the least, Ven. Seriously, go subscribe to Ven. Thank you for helping me with this video. I wish you, your best luck in your YouTube journey. And have you got anything to say for the fans?
Like and subscribe.
Okay, you cut out there. Do you want to repeat that again, bro?
Oh my god.
No, that's not my...
Like and subscribe.
Since you made it to the end of the video, you'll probably like my other videos on unstable SMP, which you can find by clicking on this playlist. The full unedited interview and both fights, yeah, even the one with the messed up recording, will be on my second channel soon, so stay tuned for that. See ya! In this video, I'm going to be finding out who is the best Lifesteal Season 7 player. To do this, I'm going to be ranking all 38 members in this one video. So how am I going to be ranking these players? Well, I'm going to be doing it based on their overall position on the server. So we're going to take aspects like team, heart count, and PvP skills into consideration. So let's say a really good player has 4 hearts and no team. They're going to be ranked lower than a really bad player with 20 hearts and a really good team. Anyways, with that being said, let's get straight into it. Alright, starting off with Leo Wook. He's on the daycare team, which is a pretty strong team on the server, probably one of the strongest. He's decent at PvP, and he's allied with Chief and Will. Chief may not be as much of a valuable ally, but having young Will as an ally is definitely important. I'll get more into that later on. Anyways, he's got 12 hearts, which for Lifesteal Season 7 isn't actually that bad. I have no idea why, but in Lifesteal Season 7, everyone's just sort of on that, 12 to 8 sort of heart range. No one's really got a lot of hearts yet. He's got a decent team, he's good at PvP, he's got some allies. I'd say that's a solid A tier. He's got manepear and mapicc on his team, he's pretty set. Next up, we've got 4C. Now, he probably won't get his Lifesteal POV for a while because he's probably going to be putting more time into editing the new Naked and Afraid series. But what we do know is that he's got 10 hearts. He's teamed with Jaren, who is one of the least active Lifesteal members. But he's got decent redstone skills, and maybe if he branches out his allies and his team a little bit more, he could definitely go higher. But I'm going to say C tier for now. Next up, we've got Ashwag. So he's on 1 heart currently, and I think that's because he gave his 9 other hearts to his teammates. He's also on the daycare, which is manepear and mapicc's team. So not a bad team, but is he actually going to play this season? I didn't see him a whole lot last season, and the fact that he's that willing to go to 1 heart says he's not really that dedicated. I can honestly understand if you put him in D tier, but he has the team. Like, I'm sure Leo, manepear, and mapicc would happily give him some hearts. His ping is pretty rough, but I think C tier is fair. Next up, we have the server's best PvPer, Bacon Waffles. He's teamed with Towncat and Squiddo, which I guess isn't a horrible team. They definitely have chemistry, but maybe on the PvP front, not so good. But to be fair, he does sort of have connections with young Will after the clownpierce 3v1, and he's still on a very healthy 10 heart count. Maybe if his team was stronger on the PvP front, he could go up to B tier, but I think C tier is a very good place to put him at the moment. Alright, next up we've got Chief XD. Now he actually got the first kill on the server, which was on JPEX, which if you want to see more on, you could check this video here. I've got all of JPEX's deaths in that video and I sort of analyze them. He's not the craziest at PvP, like people tell me he's really good. From what I've seen, I just don't see that. But maybe the fight I saw was just a bad fight for him, you know, everyone has those. He's allied with the Steve duo, he's allied with Leo Work. 11 hearts, not bad, I'd say B tier. Next up we've got clownpierce. Now, not surprisingly, Clown has a high amount of hearts, which is 16. Which is kind of crazy because in Lifesteal Season 6, 16 was sort of like the average heart count. Like, I know this season's new, but honestly, this season, not a lot of hearts seem to be going round. But once we get visitors that, for some reason, still drop hearts, I think, you know, everyone's heart count will go up a lot. He's got a really OP team. The only issue is he's sort of against the daycare. And also, the fact that he's the Deadliest player sort of put a bounty on his head. So we've seen people like Young Will take advantage of that and hunt him, you know, continuously. Which I've also made a dedicated video for if you'd like to check that out. I'd say A tier. Also, just keep in mind the order of the tier list don't count. In my Season 6 tier list, I saw people getting confused. So the order doesn't matter, but if it did, I'd probably put clownpierce above Leo Work because he's quite high up in my opinion. So Jiraptor is currently on 8 hearts and he isn't that great at PvP. He's got some decent allies, but his team isn't exactly the strongest. But he at least has a team, so I think I'll put him in C tier. He's got connections to people like Prince Zam, and Prince Zam, he just knows everyone on the server, it seems like. So yeah, C tier, I'd say he's probably the lowest we've had so far. Like, if you were to say D tier, I would completely understand. Alright, next up is E Corridor. So he has said he wants to get in more fights this season, unlike Season 6. Alright, so he does have a healthy heart count with that being 10. He doesn't have a team, unfortunately, and we haven't seen him log on a lot. However, he does have a strong alliance with Young Will and Pentar. And of course Pofa, but that's Pofa. Honestly, I'd say B tier. I feel like he has a very strong alliance with Young Will and Pentar, 2 players which he knows quite well. Either way, those are 2 of the best PvPers. He's decent at PvP, which I actually didn't realize. Maybe if we had more information on E Corridor and Lifesteal Season 7, I could have a more confident rating, but I'm going to stick with B for now. Alright, next up we've got flamefrags. The last time I did a tier list, I got called a flamefrags meat rider because I put him in S tier on every tier, which honestly, let me hear me out. The tiers I was doing was skins tier list. Obviously, he's got an S tier skin. I also put S tier for content, which low-key I'd probably move down maybe to an A tier nowadays. I just don't think his unstable SMP uploads are the greatest. And obviously, for PvP, I'm going to put him in S tier as well. But for this one, he hasn't actually logged on Lifesteal yet, which is surprising. He's just been busy with Unstable, which is fair enough, get your bag, but I feel like Lifesteal is sort of something you shouldn't neglect. Like, Lifesteal was a huge stepping stone for flamefrags joining Unstable SMP, so sort of neglecting it seems a bit off. But of course, it's his decision, he would probably join eventually, but I feel like there's already a lot of teams that have sort of been settled, so yeah. Also, I don't know why I'm yapping, to be honest, like, he hasn't logged on. So I'm actually going to put flamefrags in the NA tier list, which stands for not available. He literally hasn't logged on. He hasn't said anything about alliances or teams or plans. So at the end of the tier list, I'll create the NA tier, but for now, we'll just move him down here. Now, Hannah XX Rose. Now, she does have 11 hearts, but things are looking a bit shaky for her. She's associated with the team that removed all the end portals, and in case you didn't know, like, that team is the #1 target on the server. Like, loads of people have just been saying it's on site if they see them, which isn't good. Like, there were rumors about her betraying people and all this. I don't think she's very good at PvP, but she's got a healthy amount of hearts. I know I've done a lot of C tiers, but I think Hannah going in C tier is pretty understandable. Next up, we've got JPEX. Now, I've literally made a whole video about this. JPEX is going in D tier. Now, he's on a low heart count like Ashwag, but Ashwag got to that heart count on purpose. JPEX straight up just died loads of times. He hasn't got any alliances. He's only teamed with Spectacle and Redoons, which isn't exactly a bad team, but he's just not great at PvP at all. His 2v2T series has also been doing better, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a lot of him from Lifesteal. So I think JPEX being our first D tier is pretty understandable. Now, jumperwho is decent at PvP. She's in a team called Bing, and she's the only member, but she's got alliances. How many times am I going to say this? She's got alliances with Young Will, Pentar, and Prince Zam. Does every player have alliances with those players, bro? Am I tripping? But she's on 10 hearts. She hasn't died. She hasn't gotten any kills. She's on her own team, though, which really is going to weigh her down a lot. I'm going to go C tier. That might shock you. I think her position in Lifesteal is a very high C tier. She's probably the highest we have so far, if not one of. Next up, we've got manepear. Now, he's got 13 hearts and he's on the daycare team. Now, the big thing with manepear is that he actually got quick dropped on the first day of Lifesteal by clownpierce, which contrasts Season 6 where he didn't die a lot, because that was sort of his whole thing. but I'm honestly going to put him in S tier. Now, Clown has a target on his head. He's killed a lot of people. He's clownpierce, so obviously people are going to go after him. But manepear, he died early on, so no one can really say, apart from clownpierce, that they killed manepear for the first time. And manepear's got a solid team. There's not really a lot of motive to go for manepear. Like, out of anyone on his team, he seems to be remaining relatively neutral. Like, it seems to be mapicc getting more involved, causing more fights and all of that. So yeah, our first S tier going to manepear, pretty understandable, I would say. Speaking of mapicc, we've got him next. He's probably one of the best PvPers, he's got one of the best teams, but unfortunately, Lifesteal Season 7 has not treated him too kindly. He's got a lot of enemies, he did not start off very well at all, but he hasn't really gained anything from having enemies. Like, it's not like he killed someone, got a heart, and is now enemies with them. So I'm going to put him in B tier. But like I said earlier, he's good at PvP, he's got a decent team, so that stops him from going lower, but yeah, B tier. Maybe if he locks in, it could be an A tier, you know, it is still quite early to tell. Now next up we have minutetech. He's on the Apocalypse team, which is of course one of the strongest teams on the server. I would say he's on a similar tier to mapicc in PvP. But to be fair, a lot of people have been telling me like they think he's one of the best PvPers on Lifesteal, like in the top 5, which I wouldn't say top 5, but he's, you know, top 8 maybe, give or take. Like, the Apocalypse team has got a large variety. We've got clownpierce, which is obviously brute force. We've got minutetech, which is obviously another brute force, but he does have some, you know, technical uses with redstone. And of course, we've got SB and HermitCraft, which are all about, you know, traps, farms. Apart from his team, he doesn't have a lot of allies, so I'm just going to put him in B tier. However, I do think an A tier is pretty understandable. Now we've got Mid-Mystic. She's allied with 4C, and she's on the #1 op team. Now I think I'm going to put her in C tier. She's not the greatest at PvP. Her team is #1 priority on the op list, but that team, of course, like the millionth time this video's got connections with Will and Prince Zam, so that's probably going to save her from going D tier. But she's not exactly high up in the C tier. Next up is Mr. Cube. Now he has a team, but honestly, I don't think we've seen enough to rate him. So yeah, I think I'm going to put him in the tier with flamefrags, where I just can't rate him. And the only things he really has done when he's logged on is join a team, which that team doesn't really take themselves seriously, so yeah. Next up, we've got Pangy. His team isn't amazing, his alliances aren't incredible, but, you know, he's on a healthy heart count. I think I'm going to put him in C tier. Like, if he was on a lower heart count, I think a D tier could be pretty understandable. Next up, we've got Pentar. Now, he's teamed with one of the best members this season, Young Will. Granted, he hasn't gotten too involved, although at the time of recording a couple hours ago, he did get in a big fight with the daycare. And yeah, I'd say overall, they probably won that fight. So I'm going to put him in B tier. He's one of the best PvPers, but his heart count isn't too high. Next up is planetlord. And he hasn't logged on yet. So yeah, nothing else to be said really. You know, he's going with flamefrags and Mr. Cube. Now Pother, to be honest, the only thing really saving him from D tier is the fact that he has a high heart count. I mean, he killed Japex, and Japex was AFK, but then he lost that heart to Prince Zam. He's allied with E Corridor, which I guess is something, but yeah, he's probably one of the lowest we've got yet. And the person I've mentioned at least 800 times this video already, we've got Prince Zam. Now, Prince Zam doesn't have a team, but he's got so many, like, alliances. Like, he's been getting really involved. I've seen him in so many fights. I've seen him, you know, allied with so many people. But of course, it is Prince Zam, and I don't know why. This guy gets tortured, it feels like, every season. Like, in Season 6, this guy, bro, like, he went through all stages of grief, it felt like. But to be fair, I think he's got one of the most potentials we've seen so far. I'm going to go B tier for Prince Zam. If he had a higher heart count, I'd probably go A tier. He's literally friends with everyone, which we've discussed pretty much already. Redun's is decent at PvP, so I'm going to whack him in C tier. He hasn't got a lot of alliances. I would say he's remained pretty neutral in the grand scheme of things. And of course, his team isn't the strongest. Next up, we've got HermitCraft. Now, he would be on 10 hearts, but he unfortunately died to lag once. I mean, that's not as bad as Japex, who died to lag, you know, way more than that. And unlike his team, which is already pretty strong, clownpierce and minutetech have a lot of, you know, enemies. But HermitCraft, he's just a chill guy. Like, he's a very smart player. And no one really says, I hate HermitCraft. Like, no one's gonna hunt HermitCraft down. He does have a low heart count, but I reckon with SB, bro, SB getting 47 maces, bro. Like, SB was probably gonna pull out some bloody infinite heart glitch, so you could never really tell what he's doing, bro. So I'm actually going to put HermitCraft in A tier. He has a lot of potential. Feel like from what we've seen so far, as long as you're competent at PvP and have strong connections but aren't too attached to them to the point where you share enemies, then you should be pretty good. And I think HermitCraft is a great example of that. Granted, he's probably the lowest on the A tier we have yet, but I feel like if he had a couple more hearts, he could secure his A tier spot confidently. Rochambeau hasn't logged on yet. On to the venthatguy Rochambeau. Now, speaking of SB737, we've got him next. He's probably got the most knowledge of Minecraft out of anyone on Lifesteal, and by quite a far margin, I would say. Granted, his PvP skills aren't the best, but he has been trying to lock in with PvP. But the thing with SB is that he always has like a way to get out of stuff. Like if you've watched Friend or Foe, you'd know like SB can just, he always has a plan B. He could probably go to a plan Z if he really wanted to. Like SB is definitely the type of person to have mapped out and predicted the entirety of Season 7. Like this guy has planned the final day of Season 7 and we're only a week in, like you know what I mean. So I'm going to put him in A tier. He's sort of like HermitCraft. It's quite hard to be enemies with SB. But not to the extent of HermitCraft. Like, I feel like SB definitely would have a lot more enemies than HermitCraft. So next up, we've got Spectacle. I mean, there's not really a lot to say. Judging by Spectacle's upload schedule, I doubt we're going to see his POV anytime soon. I would say C tier, but I feel like D tier. Unlike Redoons, who is on the Socks Inc. team, who's decent at PvP, Spectacle just unfortunately isn't. I mean, 9 hearts isn't exactly terrible, but it's nothing to brag about. So I think I'm going to keep him in D tier. Next up, we've got Spoke, and unlike the other unstable SMP members, he's actually showed up. Now, he's obviously not going to be too involved with Lifesteal, considering that he's on unstable SMP, but he's had the courtesy to show up, and that's at least something. He's not going to be doing any wormhole level stuff, so I'd honestly put him in B tier. I feel like he's just going to remain pretty neutral. He's got a strong team. If he ever wants to properly get involved with Lifesteal, I'm sure they would hook him up with some stuff. Now, next up, we've got Squiddo. She isn't in an actively bad situation, but she isn't in a great one. I mean, she's got 10 hearts, which is something. She's got a lot of allies, but she really isn't that good at PvP. And if I had to split the server into 2 halves based on activity, I would put her in the bottom half. But I'm going to put her in C tier for now. Next up, we've got the Terrain. I don't see him log on a lot, and he's also in the team that doesn't really take Lifesteal too seriously. So I guess I'll put him in C tier. There are pros to not being very active, like he doesn't have any enemies, which is good. Next up is Vitality. Well, actually, maybe not, because he hasn't logged on yet, so he's going to the back of the tier list. And the same can be said for Vortex. No offense to Vortex, but why is he still a member of Lifesteal? He logged on Season 6 once, I don't remember him in Season 5, like, bro. And we've gone 3 for 3. Wemmbu, similar to flamefrags, hasn't logged on either because of unstable. I feel like Wemmbu sort of neglecting Lifesteal sits better with me than flamefrags doing it. But, I mean, nonetheless, he hasn't logged on, so yeah, we'll move on. Next up is Woogie. He's got some alliances. He can hold his own in fights. I'd say he's, like, one of the players that can, like, last long in fights. Like, I'd say most of the time he probably loses fights to running out of resources as opposed to, you know, getting quick dropped. I feel like a lot of the Divine Intervention team, which is the team that banned the End, essentially, I feel like a lot of them could go D tier, but they have something saving them, whether that be strong connections, you know, high heart counts, you know, whatever. Now, next up, we've got Jaren. He's teamed with 4C. I don't imagine he's going to play a lot. I feel like if he had a lower heart count, I'd probably put him in D tier, but I think C tier. Like, he's not in an actively bad situation, but he's not in a great one either. Now, we save these members for last, the new additions. Now, next up, we've got D-Town Cat. You know, I got my head bitten off for not using their full legal name, so I'm just going to have to call them that, apparently. Of course, that's a joke, don't worry. I'm not sure their skill on PvP, they haven't gotten involved with much. But yeah, from what I've seen so far, they've made an alright addition to Lifesteal. Now for the next new member, we've got JoJo Solos. Which actually, I've said this before in community posts and stuff, I predicted her to join Lifesteal in a video, but by the time I was like halfway in the video, she already got announced to be in Lifesteal, so I sort of had to cut her out the video because it wouldn't make sense. She is in the Divine Intervention team, which isn't great, but she's got some decent alliances, so I'll whack her in C tier. I know there's a lot of C tiers, guys, but hopefully, you know, you can see why I put them there. Like, I'm not sure what JoJo's PvP skill is, so I think C tier, I feel like that's pretty fair. You know, feel free to correct me in the comments. Now, we've got Young Will, and I'm going to put him in S tier. He, like, I've seen, like, I saw a comment earlier, Young Will has been moving like prime King Von, bro. He's been jumping anyone and anything, bro. Kidding clownpierce, he's really displayed himself as a force to be reckoned with. Strong alliances, teamed with Pentar. He's got good communication with his team. And plus, we can't have manepear all alone in S tier, like, come on. Alright guys, here's the finished tier list. Make sure to let me know down below what I got wrong, what I got right, and is this better than my last tier list? Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye. Okay, so Lifesteal Season 7 started yesterday, and there's already a member who has died 6 times. That member, of course, being JPEX, and the thing is, all of his deaths were just unlucky. To understand what I mean by this, let's have a look at his first death.
Okay, if everyone's getting diamonds low-key, I need to go into a cave, bruh. I can't be this far behind. Let's go. This is the diamond cave. I feel it. This is the cave we get diamonds from. Or not. Are we kidding me?
And that's honestly a justified crash out. Like, if you didn't know, Season 7 started off very laggy, which means JPEG's shield just didn't protect him from the creeper. Like, I'm aware he put his shield up quite late, but that was still early enough to protect him. Now, I think you can see where I'm going with saying JPEG's lifesteal's unluckiest player, but his second death might just be worse than his first.
Yeah, we could. I mean, also okay, alright.
What? Tell me.
Yeah, so I was being hunted by like this team of 4. I managed to escape, which was good.
Do you know who they were?
What to do though? Yeah, so it was Spoke.
Oh, Mapicc,
yeah.
Ash,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shoot.
Yeah, not ideal. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
You could be sorry. Yo, because of the lag, it didn't didn't eat.
I know.
The lag, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Yo.
All those creepers fucked me, dude. Dude. Yeah.
GG.
JPEG was actually holding his own in that fight, right up until he had to tank a ton of damage, all because once again lag caused him to eat his only golden apple late. I think you can see a theme here, but JPEG did some decent cobwebs, but the fight was so clunky because of the lag as well. Also, not to mention his shield just breaking mid-fight. Like, if you've played Minecraft before, that is simply just unlucky. Like, no one checks their shield durability. On to the next death.
A rampage to kill me, dude. Holy.
Bro went AFK for literally 5 seconds to do something on stream and gets dropped by Pofa of all people as soon as he returns. What I'm wondering is where the hell did Pofa come from? Like, you literally cannot see him at all from JPEG's POV, and then he all of a sudden kills JPEG. Like, bro, maybe he was hiding or something? I mean, I don't really know. But that was the 3rd time JPEG had to get stone tools and food, and now he has to do it for a 4th time.
My brother, I'm back. What did I miss? A bunch of diamonds. Your boy got a bunch of diamonds now. Oh, where?
JPEG starts mining diamonds and a creeper drops from the heavens behind him. Like, what could he have actually done here? Especially on only 7 hearts, or I mean, I should probably say now 6 hearts. The worst part about this death is that he almost had full diamond armor and was literally celebrating making a comeback.
Alright, we're getting out of the trenches again, gang. Like, I would say we're getting out.
Now, to give JPEG a bit of a break, this next death is at least on purpose.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to suggest to make a bed real quick, or
Yeah.
to set the spawn point. Alright, have you done that?
Yep, kill me. Do the honors.
He lets Red Dunes kill him, and in return, JPEG joins Socks Inc., which is Red Dunes and Spectacle's team. I guess in the long run this deal will be worth it, but giving consent kills when you're only on 6 hearts is still kinda crazy. Well, things are finally looking up for JPEG. He's got a solid team, he's got decent gear, what could go wrong?
This kit.
Wait, sorry, what? The game
Full
lag.
prod in this kit, so...
Oh, bet.
Prod 3. And that's why this is so OP, because we've nerfed protection. But like, the thing isn't that like it's stronger in damage directly.
Well, okay, he technically hasn't died yet. I mean, granted, he is surrounded by mobs and is on half a heart, but if he just uses his shield, he should be good. And he tries to grapple instead and dies. Well, at least for now, that's the end of JPEG's bad luck. Which death was the most unlucky in your opinion? I would definitely say the 4th one, as that death was pretty much unavoidable. Make sure to like and subscribe for future Lifesteal Season 7 videos, and click on the playlist on screen to watch other videos I've made on Lifesteal. Goodbye. Unstable SMP is currently Minecraft's biggest content creator server, with the content creators consisting of wemmbu, parrot, spoke, and flamefrags. Unstable has become notorious for being a unique twist on the traditional modern SMP formula, with it being scripted. A bonus of the server being scripted is that crazy stuff can happen. Real quick, make sure to watch till the end because I guarantee you'll look at Unstable SMP in a completely different perspective after finishing this video. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Take wembu's Season 1 final for example, where wembu takes an unfair 2v1 against Unstable's best PvPers Ferret MC and clownpierce. Wembu's armor breaks, he's down to only a chestplate, but he manages to fly away and survive even after being chased. Now watching this for the first time would be exhilarating, especially knowing that one wrong move could cause wembu to lose his only life on the server. It was honestly an awesome fight that contributed to the climax of Season 1, and having wembu escape with literally no armor I found creative. Now of course wembu probably couldn't do that if the server wasn't scripted, you know, no offense to wembu, but the point is that it's not completely unreasonable to happen in an unscripted scenario. But this contributes to Unstable's appeal of quite literally unlimited possibilities. Now so far, Unstable being scripted just sounds like a great thing. And granted, incredibly unlikely scenarios occurring thanks to Unstable being scripted is great for the server's content, in moderation. You see, this gives the content creators an insane amount of plot armor, which as a viewer, these thrilling battles start to lose the ability to have you on the edge of your seat, as you know the creators you're watching will 100% survive. Okay, let's look at another Unstable SMP creator, Parrot. In the video titled I Got Hunted by a Minecraft Hacker, True Original, this episode's antagonist, clears Parrot's inventory and summons him thousands of blocks in the sky. Now, I'm not an expert on hacks, so whether that is actually possible with the use of hacks is quite frankly beyond me, but anyway, keep in mind Parrot has nothing. He quite literally cannot survive this. Oh wait, his teammate attached a horse to a lead and flew right underneath Parrot as he fell. Now don't get me wrong, this was a cool clutch to watch, but Parrot's plot armor here is so obvious and strong that it gets to a point of it being kind of ridiculous. Like this would never in a million years happen spontaneously in an unscripted server. And that's for many reasons, like why couldn't True Original just teleport Parrot back up and then Newfly wouldn't have made the clutch? Anyways, that's not the point. It's moments like these where the creator's plot armor is a little too strong. But if the server wasn't on hardcore mode and players had more than one life, moments like this wouldn't have to happen and plot armor wouldn't be as strong. Okay, so we've discussed the creators having plot armor, but what about the other players on the server? Well, Unstable SMP uses PvP as one of its main sources of entertainment. The 4 content creators on the server, we'll call the Big 4, they all regularly fight random, unknown players, and most of the time they end up killing them. They kill these players because they don't have to face any consequences of them no longer being in videos because they're not well known, so them being banned doesn't really affect the server. Wait, what? You're telling me we won't ever get to see GigaGamer1 appear in an Unstable video again? That's it. I'm quitting. I'm never watching Unstable again, bro. These players are simply there to drag out the runtime and to make the videos more entertaining by having PvP, so chances are if you don't recognize a player's skin, username, or if they simply aren't speaking, then they are gonna lose the fight that you're watching. Like, comment down below, guys. I actually challenge one of you guys to find me a scenario where this isn't the case. Okay, so it's predictable to see whether unknown players will die or not, but the Big 4 also regularly fight popular creators as well. Now, since these players are actually well known, unlike GigaGamer1, they don't ever die, because if they do die, they'll never be able to feature in an Unstable video ever again, which would destroy the longevity of Unstable SMP. So not only did the Big 4 have plot armor, but the antagonists do as well. So what happens if you put a player with plot armor against another player with plot armor? Well, you get stalemates where no player really wins. An example of this is on Spoke's Season 1 final, where him, minutetech, and mapicc have Ashwag to themselves in a room. He literally has nothing, and for context, Ashwag is like the most evil person on Unstable SMP, tormenting players, indirectly causing the destruction of millions of resources and hundreds of players being killed, since he was the leader of the mafia. But Spoke spares him for some reason, just so they can potentially use Ashwag in a later episode. And I'm not saying they should have necessarily killed Ashwag off, he's probably Unstable's best actor and puts a lot of passion into his work, but maybe having Ashwag live in another way could have made the ending a little more realistic and satisfying. Another way stalemates happen on Unstable SMP is where the players simply stop fighting to restock or to escape, typically done with ender pearl stasis chambers. Now this could be a good thing, it drags out tension a little more and can make the final result of the battle more rewarding, but the thing is, this doesn't happen. Like, the amount of times wemmbu and Will have fought just for neither of them to die is probably in the double digits by now. I asked Try3LX, whose Unstable content you may recognize, and he also agrees that the server being hardcore creates plot armor, which therefore makes fights predictable, but he does also state that it helps create more tension, which I can see where he's coming from, but I'll get into why that kind of isn't the case later on. From what I've asked dedicated fans of Unstable SMP, the general consensus is that the viewers know that the Big 4 will simply never die, because the server is in hardcore mode. So with players only only having one life, a lot of the tension is ironically removed from fights. Fights become predictable and formulaic, and sagas that have carried on for months end in unsatisfying / odd ways just in case the related players need to be used in the future. But there are a couple ways we could fix this.
I can't promise that I won't leave you.
At the time of writing, Unstable Season 2 is being wrapped up. Well, kind of. Parrot is doing his own thing and finished his POV about a month ago, while the other 3 are on the last couple episodes of their respective sagas. So I'll admit, Solution 1 can't fix the one life issue for Season 2, but it definitely can for Season 3. Solution 1. Kill everyone. Okay, that sounds a bit dark, but hear me out. Imagine in Season 3 they kill a ton of players, and no, not just the Giga Gamer ones of the server, players like Clownpierce, Will, and Sharpness. But at the end of Season 3, the season's big bad villain somehow revives everyone. This could maybe even be Ashwag to have a little bit more payoff for Spoke sparing him. This can also get the Big 4 to unite, as I feel like Season 2 is seriously lacking the Big 4 actually communicating with each other, which is something Season 1 excelled at. Like, Parrot had one conversation with Spoke this whole season, and that was literally all the connections he had to the Big 4 this season. Just imagine Parrot, Flame, Wemmbu, and Spoke having to team up to take on all of the players that they've killed that season, or even better, have one of the Big 4 temporarily die before the whole server gets revived again to really remove the idea of plot armor and have the stakes higher than they've ever been before. Like I said, don't be expecting me to come up with some Project Hail Mary level story, but yeah. Solution 2, subscribe. Well, that's a bit of an odd solution. I mean, you should totally do it because it'll help, a small creator, out a lot. But anyway, what's the actual next solution? Come on. Solution 2, give everyone more than one life. Now, this is the obvious answer. Granted, giving all players 3 lives could get really complicated and has a lot of room for continuity errors. Like one episode, someone may have 2 lives, but next episode they'll accidentally have 3 or something like that. But it could cause players to actually face repercussions from fights, which will lower the amount of stalemates that players have, and it opens up the door for things like character development. Let's go back to that Wemmbu fight, where he somehow escapes Fair MC and Clownpierce. Imagine he had 3 lives in that fight, and instead of narrowly escaping, he gets killed. Wemmbu could still stay in the series, but there's a permanent reminder that he messed up for being overconfident, and like I mentioned earlier, this could help shape Wembu's character into someone who's more heedful when it comes to creating fights. Now, how would you tell how many lives a player has? Well, you could do what the live series does and have different players have different color name tags depending on their life count. So players that have 3 lives can have a green name tag, players that have 2 lives can have a yellow name tag, and people who have 1 life can have a red name tag. Or you could just have the number of lives above their head or something like that, you get the point. At the end of the day, this would let fights be less formulaic, foreseeable, and would weaken not only the Big 4's plot armor, but everyone on the servers. And also with this solution, we can finally see Giga Gamer 1 return. Wait, real quick, comment down below your thoughts on this. I reply to almost all my comments, unlike most creators, so I won't just ignore your comment. This video took me a while to make, so like I mentioned earlier, simply pressing a button on your screen could help me out a ton, since I'm trying to become the biggest unstable SMP documentary account on YouTube. And you could help me out with that. Click on the screen to see how I think Unstable SMP will kill Lifesteal. See you later. With Lifesteal Season 7 starting soon, many theories about who the new members will be have started spreading, but which ones are correct? Hello, I'm in Furtrax. I consistently upload Minecraft YouTuber documentaries, and if that sounds like something you'll be interested in, then liking and subscribing could be a great choice. Anyway, on the other hand, you have people who say no new members will be added, as there were already a ton of new introductions with Season 6. Well, if you believe that there will be no new members, you're wrong.
Well, in Furtrax, how are you so sure that there will be new members in Season 7?
Well, at the end of SB's final Lifesteal Season 6 video, he hints at his Lifesteal Season 7 team. This includes SB, minutetech, and Clownpierce, but also a secret member. Along with this secret member, the message Season 7 Here We Come is written. This pretty much confirms that there is at least 1 new member in Lifesteal Season 7. So that begs the question, who is this person? Do you want to be able to say that you knew who the new secret Lifesteal member was before everyone else? Or make sure to watch the end of this video because I guarantee you'll learn something new. I think something we need to eliminate out of the run firstly is past members. So people like Parrot, Caboodle and Subs. Well, for Parrot, I think it's pretty unlikely. Like I mentioned in my previous video, Parrot's priorities are with Unstable SMP. Parrot clearly isn't passionate about unscripted content, so I doubt it's him. Also, SB, minutetech and Clown are 3 of the biggest creators on Lifesteal, so having Parrot, another huge creator on their team, would create a huge imbalance in popularity. A huge reason why Lifesteal is such a great server is watching huge creators regularly interact with smaller ones in the same team. team. A great example of this is SB, the biggest lifestyle creator, being teamed with Pangy, one of the smallest lifestyle creators. So a combined 9 million subs on a single team is very unlikely. And plus, you can only have so many birds on one team. And for subs, he stepped away from Lifesteal saying it wasn't for him. And Caboodle left for personal reasons. So yeah, the past members left for a reason, and it's unlikely they'll rejoin. At least full time. I'm going with a 4 out of 10 likelihood for any past members returning. Now, what about some actual new members? A theory that I've received a lot of comments about is Muggum. There's two sides to this prediction. On one hand, Muggum is incredibly good at PvP, and since Flame and Main, the two best PvPers on the server, joining Lifesteal was so successful, maybe they would want to recreate that success with Muggum. But on the other hand of this, would they want another deadly player? Like, we've already got Manepear, Flame, Clown, and arguably some other members. However, something that makes Muggum joining more credible is that he has connections with a lot of the Lifesteal members, such as E-Corridor and Parrot, thanks to the Bliss SMP and Unstable SMP. And let's be honest, connections with clownpierce and SB, since he's 100% behind the secret identity server assassin on Friend or Foe. Also, if Muggum were to become a Lifesteal member, I feel like it would ruin his unique selling point. The reason he's so deadly is because we don't see him on servers too often, and when we do, he's probably killing a team of players or something. So seeing him regularly and all the time would take away his whole idea. Overall, Muggum joining is decently likely. But to be fair, he definitely has the Lifesteal upload schedule already. I would say there's a 6 out of 10 likelihood of Muggum joining Lifesteal Season 7. Anyway, back to the Bliss SMP, Will underscore is also a decent prediction. I would say he's more likely than Muggum, as he has more to his character than just being good at PvP. Also, Will's laid-back personality could help balance out the deadliness that the team currently has, regardless of his good PvP skills. And has also had more of a role in Unstable SMP compared to Muggum. And of course, Unstable SMP has many Lifesteal members in it, primarily wemmbu, who interacts with Will a lot on the server, with them being enemies. Also, wemmbu comments a lot on Will's videos, so perhaps this shows Will's close relationship with some Lifesteal members. No, not that type of relationship, you absolute freak. 7 out of 10 chance of Will joining Lifesteal Season 7, definitely our most likely yet. Someone who I've personally predicted to join Lifesteal in the past is Sharpness. Similar to Will, he also has appeared in Unstable SMP and has many connections to Lifesteal creators. We know this from his 1v1 series, which includes features from Clownpierce, Manepear, flamefrags, and much more. But unfortunately, he also suffers the same fate as Muggum, with his incredible PvP skills potentially harming his chance to get in. And also, Sharpness specializes in sword, and I don't think watching people die from one good sword combo would be very entertaining or very fun to play against. But on the other hand, perhaps Lifesteal wants this unique playstyle on their server. Also, Sharpness definitely uploads the most consistent and high quality content out of the 3 YouTubers we've discussed so far. I'm going to go with once again a 7 out of 10 chance of Sharpness joining Lifesteal Season 7. If you didn't know, SV737 received the opportunity to join Lifesteal because of his connections to Clownpierce through the series Friend or Foe. So why not look at the other Friend or Foe members? Obviously, Clownpierce and SB are already in Lifesteal, so that leaves us with the 2 remaining players, Mini, Mooka, and Quiff. For Mini, I think the chance is extremely slim. In real life, he's a businessman and clearly isn't that bothered about making Minecraft content, with him prioritizing managing other bigger channels and pursuing business ventures. Like, just for scale, one of the many businesses he owns is Blockheads, which you've probably seen before in other videos. Also, Mini would be way too good for Lifesteal. Like, he killed Clownpierce while wearing no armor. I mean, it's not like Clownpierce let Mini kill him and then quick dropped in the next day or anything. Nah, but for real though, Mini unfortunately wouldn't be skilled enough to join Lifesteal, and he's understandably putting more attention into other things. I reckon Mini will stick to focusing on the business side of the Minecraft content, so I'm going to go with a 2 out of 10 chance of Mini joining Lifesteal. But maybe if he locks in with Naked and Afraid Season 2, it could be bumped up to a 3 out of 10. Anyway, the other Friend or Foe member I mentioned is Quiff, and I also think this is pretty unlikely. He focuses on making scripted videos, but not the unstable SMP kind, the mind-numbing content for kids kind, which he tries to pass off as real. However, he does do the occasional SMP video regardless if they're fake, so he at least knows the typical SMP format. He is a big creator, but relies on the same video, title, and thumbnail format to gain any views, which just wouldn't work with Lifesteal. And that's not an exaggeration, by the way. If you look at his channel, like, he keeps using the build battle thumbnail over and over again, bro. It's been like years. Also, Quiff lives in Australia, so that ping would be really difficult to play with. But maybe Quiff would be able to make it work. So I guess I'll go for 3 out of 10 of Quiff joining Lifesteal. Next up is True Original. Firstly, he has a large amount of connections through the School SMP and the Unstable SMP. Also, he's recently been stepping up his game with quality of his content. However, he has been adopting the scripted Unstable SMP style, which could hinder his chances, as Lifesteal is already suffering enough from scripted content. But like I go over in this video, many members in Lifesteal also do this scripted content, so I guess Lifesteal doesn't care about it. And also, he states himself as, and I quote, silliest goober. So sort of like Will, his comedic comedic side would sort of balance out the deadliness in the team. I would say a 7 out of 10 chance of True Original joining Lifesteal, especially since he has the strongest connections yet. Now, these 3 people I think have the highest chance of joining Lifesteal Season 7, and this consists of Barblu, Fanst, and Boostfur. The reason these 3 are grouped together is because they upload similar content and play together regularly. Now, I think Fanst is the least likely out of these 3 as he's the smallest and doesn't upload a lot, but he still does appear on the Unstable SMP. However, Barblu and Boostfur are both big creators, upload content in the Lifesteal SMP format, and have all played major roles in the Unstable SMP. They also have a variety of skills and have more depth than just being good at PvP. I would say there's an equal chance of Boostfur and Barblu joining, since Barblu uploads a lot more, but Boostfur's content is closer to the typical Lifestealers content, and also slightly higher quality than Barblu's. 8 out of 10 chance of Boostfur joining Lifesteal Season 7, and also an 8 out of 10 chance of Barblu joining Lifesteal Season 7. But for the most important question, who do you think will join Lifesteal Season 7? And also, since you made it to the end of this video, you'll probably like the other videos I've made that are similar to this one, which you can find by clicking on the playlist on screen. Make sure you let me know what you would like to see me upload next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.